But yeah, I totally agree. And, I've had shared experiences like being a 3. I think you're right. Like 1s and 3s can see each other and present pretty similarly in ways. My bestie's a 1. And I can have that experience of like being misunderstood, like people kind of seeing how, focused we can be or driven we can be, or like rigid at times we can be, and take that to mean like we're not warm or kind or human, and none of those things are true at all.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. That's very, very true.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Camille. And this is Enneagram for the Culture, where 2 dope Black therapists discuss how therapy, Blackness, and the Enneagram come together. Hello.
Hi.
I am so excited for our guest today. I'm going to wait to talk about how excited I am because we should probably introduce her first.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. And that's my cue, so I'll get right to it. Today, we're so excited to have Dayo Ajanaku as a lifelong student. She's focused on bringing joy and justice to the world. She is the owner and founder of the Instagram page, The Black Enneagram, where she offers basic Enneagram education through Black culture and Black images. The Black Enneagram combines her love for the Enneagram, Black culture, entertainment, and Christianity with the purpose of increasing self-awareness, growth, and relational health, specifically in the Black community. She regularly engages in issues of faith, justice, self-awareness, love, and unapologetic joy. The Black Enneagram is a safe haven for all people, regardless of racial identity, who want to grow in the kind of godly self-love that overflows into love for all. Welcome, Dayo.
Hi. Oh my goodness.
What a beautiful bio.
Thank you.
When I first, this is why I'm excited. I'm a little bit fangirling because when I first learned about the Enneagram and went on my, deep dive and, following all the people and doing all the things, when I saw your account, I was like, oh my God, I have struck gold. Like, I was like, the Black Enneagram? Like, this exists? Like, there's a corner of the Instagram world that is for me. Like, yeah. I was like, I just felt like, like, I felt like,
yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to feel myself, and I didn't get to feel that. So I was like, I'm going to create the space because there's no one else doing this. So might as well just be the person.
That's it. Yeah. That's the episode. That's the whole podcast, right? if the space isn't there, I mean, ask yourself, why not you?
Right. Exactly.
So same. Camille did a beautiful job, as usual, articulating the excitement that I think many of us who stumble on this tool and are really like interested, but don't see a reflection of our experience or our voice, who have stumbled on your space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How we feel. Like my friends who know about the Enneagram, when I learned about it, like you were one of the first sources. They're going to be so stoked to hear your voice on our show. So, yes.
Beautifully, Dayo, I think also like not only have you've also I feel like your corner kind of helped connect all the other people. Like you do such a good job of, which I think a lot of us as Black people do is, being like, oh, do you know this person? Oh, do you know that person? Wait, do you know so-and-so that works in HR? Like, do you know, like we do that. And like, you kind of did that of like, do you know Milton? Do you know Jessica? Do you know, like, let me put all of us together because we're all in the same camp, and you created community from that page. And so thank you.
Yeah, that's one thing I also like realized early on is like, I felt like I was the only person doing the work. And so when I found that people were doing the work, I was like, who doesn't know about these people and why are they not as more like prominent in the space as they should be? So I'm like, I'm going to use my platform to give them like light and shed light on them. So yeah, I'm glad that people are like using those resources because they're amazing. Like they are more of the serious Enneagram people. I'm the fun. So you need both. So yeah.
You're the social committee at the job. That's like you're the one organizing the Black folks luncheon.
That's very accurate. That's my role in this organization, is to be fun.
And I'm probably just like, yes, I'll be there. Like, I'm coming. Kim's probably like organizing the like professional development classes, some financial classes for us at the Lunch and Learn.
Yeah.
And bringing the dope playlist.
And then they're also bringing the playlist for it. She's going to have us elevating.
Let's get into it. So let's kick us off with how the Enneagram has shown up for us. I think we talked about this before we started recording. We have an order of business. So I'll go first. I wanted to build on a conversation like earlier in the season, Camille. I think you referenced like being a little 7 and having a very deep relationship with like movies. I think this is when we were talking about The Little Mermaid. That struck a nerve with me. I can't remember if we talked about this last season when I mentioned why the Wiz means so much to me, but I was also a little 3 who I could have written a dissertation about the meaning of the Wiz and why it's so important for Black people to know your heart and your mind and your body and to always be able to like find home within yourself, to come home like middle school. This is what I'm watching this movie thinking about. So I wanted you to know that you're not alone. And I definitely think the meaning for that movie, like that's some 3 stuff that's important for all of us again, but especially I think for 3s, and being able to, show up and be true to who we are and all of those elements like that helps with that.
I love that. That's amazing. I think we did talk about it with The Little Mermaid because we were talking about what was it that struck us in that movie, and like how, like being a little kid, and was like, what was the part that you remember being like, that's it? Mm-hmm. And so it's funny, like with that, what you're talking about, The Wiz, like, because I can think about being a kid, any story or song that talked about getting out and being in the big wide world, and I'm gonna get out of this small town, like any kind of story like that. That was my jam. Like, yeah. And I would sit in my room and like sing these songs. Like I just like knew what they were talking about.
Wow.
Yeah. All from forever. Anything about exploration and getting out into the world. I loved those like songs and movies. And so, yeah. And so that's funny for you. It's like this idea, because you said with Little Mermaid, it was that you said it was because she was so passionate and knew that she was going to make this happen. She knew what she wanted. And that was what struck a chord with you.
I'm starting to bar tears welling up. Absolutely. You're so right. Yeah. No, so like knowing your voice, yep, and knowing your heart, like knowing who you are and having that like drive your capacity to like do whatever you put your mind to, for sure.
Yes. And then here you are saying that with The Wiz of like knowing your heart, knowing your voice. Like,
yep, absolutely.
I love it. Dayo, any like childhood, like movie, like things that you can think of like, oh, that's a little one that was struck by that in like pop culture as a little kid? I think
Moana was really big for me. I'm also like a huge like movie person and TV show person.
Yeah, we know.
Well, yeah. I'm obsessed. But Moana was really like big to me. I think a lot of the movies that I think even in the Little Mermaid, the part that struck out the most to me was her relationship with her dad. Sorry to get, kind of weird, but movies like that have to do with like, you're kind of being defiant towards your father, but like you love your dad, but like, he's telling you to do something you don't want to do. Like those kind of movies. That's what Moana and like Little Mermaid kind of are like, is where, you love this person, you really want to make this person proud. But you want to live your own life. You want to do what you want to do. And you just, you don't want, like, I think the part that made me really cry in Little Mermaid was when he pushed her and he said, you're free. And I was like, oh, wait, what? You like people do that? Parents give you permission to be yourself and like explore the world. So I think those movies like that where like young women like are given permission by their fathers to be who they want to be. Those are the ones that really struck a chord with me. So yeah.
And again, like high dissertation on the arc of a one, like getting permission to not have to like stick to this one thing and I can actually go do what I want. Like that's so cool that like as a little kid, you're like, I loved those storylines. Like,
yeah, they deeply resonated with me. I wonder why it's always, because I have relationship with both my parents, but it's like the dad thing has just always been so like big for me. So yeah.
Maybe it's like a symbol of authority, rules.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, as Black women, especially, I mean, our relationships with our dad, like they're important. They're influential, regardless of what the relationship looks like. It's influential. So
very true.
That's really cool how that all just came together.
Yeah.
Very nice. I think I was going to go next. I did this another episode, and so I'm sorry that I'm doing it again, Kim. This one is something I noticed about you. And
oh gosh.
And my reaction to it. So it's like us and like it's both how the Enneagram has showed up for me. So last week, Saturday, we had a gauntlet of a schedule with recording. We had 3 recordings scheduled. One of them got canceled, which actually ended up being great. So because we had this big schedule, and I was looking at this schedule, Kim, and I had asked you like weeks before, I was like, is this too tight? You're like, no, we got it. I got it. I'm going to manage the time. And I was like, Kim's got it. And I like kind of chuckled at that moment of like, of course the 3, like we can do 3. We can do 3 in one day. We can do this. And I've got it. And I was like, all right, cool. Then I was like thinking about the day, and I was like, wait, when are we going to eat? Like, when are we going to like take a break? Like, when are we going to the bathroom? Like, what's going on? And then I was like joking with a friend. I was like, of course 3 is like, we're going to power through. We're going to power through for the whole day. What are you talking? Like, she didn't even probably think about when are we going to go eat and have a break? And then, but then here's where my stuff comes up. I'm like, so I'm thinking this is going to be crazy. I'm like, oh my God, this day. So I sit down, like I'm doing something in the morning. I fly in here like 5 minutes before. I open up my calendar to see what we got going on for the day. And I'm like, looking at the times, I'm like, oh, we do have breaks. Like we do.
We do. I did think about when are we going to eat and when are we going to pee and when are we going to get outside time. I did. And I thought about it for you because if it were just me, I probably would not. But I did think about it.
And then I was like, classic me that like looked at this like from a bird's eye view, like just was like kind of just overarching, just looked at the day on my calendar and was like, bam, bam, bam. And then it wasn't until I like detailed in and like got close to it and was like, oh, we do have breaks. Like, and so I was like, but then it ended up being fine. We had breaks. I had lunch. One person canceled and it was great. Had extra time and it was a good day. That's all.
Yeah, well, I agree. As far as like, I love a timekeeper role. Though, you know, I still be late and stuff. I still tend to try to get too much in. But yeah, I think because this was more than me, this is like, you know, guests and you, it was easier for me to feel like, no, like we can do this in a nice, like balanced, productive, efficient,
very efficient,
but balanced way.
It was good.
Yeah, and it all worked out. It really did. But yeah, so I'm glad you realized I was looking out for you.
You were. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and also it made me laugh.
Yes.
Dayo, how did the Enneagram show up for you recently? What have you noticed with your type?
I think you guys are giving me ideas. I was thinking of one before, but now I'm just like, do I want to change it? I don't know.
Yeah, flow wherever you want to flow. I give you permission. I am the father figure in the movie right now. I'm pushing you along to say, do whatever you want.
I think this was kind of personal, but I think that like, so I'm young dating, you know, in the world right now. And so I've just been watching myself experience this like as a 1. And I think I've kind of noticed myself take on the 7 energy of like, you know what, it is what it is. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I'm not going to hold this with tight fist. I think when I was dating before, like in last October, I was very much in my type 4. very much emotional, very much sad, very much like, oh, it's never gonna, like very like just not, no hope, just very hopeless. And now in my 7, I'm just like, I just want to go on dates. I just want to hang out with people. I just want to meet new people. I just want to get to know new people. And I don't really have a expectation or an agenda. It's kind of like, I just want to have fun. And I think that's been the most like fun way to, it's been really interesting to watch myself like be this way. Cause it's really difficult for me to be this way about something that I think is so serious. The world takes so seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evolution.
Right.
Here for it. Yes.
And that is, I mean, that's a hard thing to hold loosely, right? Like it's such an important, hard thing that like to hold it loosely and to have fun and lean into the fun is beautiful. I've always said this, like 1's going to 7 is one of my favorite like things. I just think that it's so beautiful to see a 1 just lean into that, what you're talking about. And I'm here for it. So I love that you've been able to apply that evolution to dating, which is a hard zone.
Yeah. It's been fun. So I'm glad to just be in this mental space. Yeah.
We're here for it.
Me too. I agree. 1 to 7. That's one of the best things to witness. Because y'all are so much fun. All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
I think a 7 to a 1 is one of the scariest things to witness. That is a danger zone for me. It happens quite often because it is a connection, but probably in dating, I probably go to the 1 zone a little bit often, and it gets a little bit, a little dicey.
Danger though.
Start collecting data. It's just
I have like a whole spreadsheet of like who have I gone on dates with. I feel after the day, like I'm very serious about this. This is a project.
You have like a ranking system.
Yeah.
How did I feel afterwards?
Yes. What I even add like details about them because you know when you're dating a lot of people, like you kind of forget who said what, and like you have to. I'm sorry, you don't like say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
That's it right there. You don't want to say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
That is again so 1 like to be like, I don't want to make a mistake. I have to make sure I got it all organized.
Yeah. And in this fun mode, it's just, hopefully if you say, hey, told me your favorite food is pizza and you're totally wrong, but like, out here having fun. Look at me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that happens. Like you said, it's the whole point of dating is to get to know people. And so it's a lot of information. That's so cool that you have a database. The 3 of me is like, wow. What app are you using for that?
yours would be like you would have the ranking. Like you would have mine would not exist. It would be like I would sometimes fill it out, but then sometimes not fill it out. And then I'd forget. And then I would be really serious about it. It would be all over.
You guys are giving me a post idea right now. Like how all the types of would like be when they're like dating. That's, oh my gosh, thank you.
Do it.
Like the 2 is like already thinking about like their favorite cookies and like what to bake and drop off at their home. Yeah. Wondering when is too soon to bring lunch to their work. Like
so cute. This is gonna be a lot of fun, especially because it's summer.
The six is, they've got their location shared. Yes, they've got it's a place that they know the baristas, so that they
Safety first.
What's the 8 doing?
Oh, they're asking all the tough questions up front.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Front. They're not playing with you at all.
I'm not going to waste my time.
Right.
Tell me about your debt.
What's your credit score immediately?
Wow. This is going to be great.
I can't wait. You know what? We've thought there's been some episodes already that we think of ideas on here. Yeah. And so this is the idea. This is the grand idea of this episode is your post on each number with dating apps and starting to date.
Yes. This is what happens. This is what happens. Bring us together, right?
Right. The idea starts.
We make stuff happen. Yep. I love it. I can't wait. Okay. So speaking of making stuff happen, let's carry along and staying on keeping us productive and balanced and whatnot. Dayo, tell us how you learned about the Enneagram.
Oh, wow. It's funny that I'm like back in Georgia because this is where I learned about the Enneagram. I live in California now, but I'm back in Georgia for a friend's wedding. And a friend of mine from college, she was my church. She was like a church member of mine. And she was kind of helping me like navigate like life. I was going through a lot in college. And so she was kind of like trying to help me navigate that. And so she suggested me that I look into the Enneagram. And from there, I just kind of got into it. I'm not sure if you want me to also answer like how I got into the Black Enneagram, but that's kind of how I learned about the Enneagram in and of itself. It was just a friend seeing that I probably needed the wisdom of the Enneagram in that season of my life.
Yeah. Shout out to that friend. Friends that put us on.
Right.
How'd you feel about like landing on your type?
I felt very settled in it. I think when I saw it, I knew. I think that's a very one thing to just be like, yeah, my gut is telling me this is who I am.
Ooh, yeah.
I felt very comfortable in it. I don't think there's anything I didn't like because I think all of it was true. And I had been quote unquote aware of my shadow side. I knew what my flaws and faults and weaknesses were. So it wasn't like, oh my God, I've never seen this before. Like I'm constantly, because you're constantly thinking about what is wrong with you constantly. So it wasn't like a shocker that sometimes with the way that it is for other people.
That's really, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, duh. I already knew that. I already explored my flaws. Like,
yeah.
That's so great.
Yes. And definitely tell us about how, like, the origin of the Black Enneagram.
Yeah. So I think, after she introduced it to me, I kind of like was getting into like the Instagram side of it. I really needed just like bite size. I was in school, so I didn't have time to like read full books. So I was learning a lot from like Instagram pages, but I kind of noticed that there wasn't a lot of people talking about it who looked like me, sounded like me, came from my culture. And so I think this was my last year of college, and I was in a class called Creativity and Innovation in Business, called the business major. And she wanted us to do a project on something that has never been done before. Very impossible. Like, why did she ask us to do this? But I just got lucky because I was thinking about like, oh, like no one, obviously like people were doing it. I just wasn't aware. But like no one's doing Enneagram work for Black people, specifically for Black people. So that was my school project, was creating this Instagram page. And then it kind of just like, everything that happened in 2020, it kind of just took off on its own. Like that wasn't the goal. It was just like, let me get my A and get out. Like that was really it for me. And then it just kind of became this big thing.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the origin story, is just seeing a gap in the quote unquote industry, and then like having the opportunity through my class to make something of it. Yeah.
Super cool. And so kind of with the Black Enneagram being started, like how do you notice your type intersecting with your Blackness more personally, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I feel like my type as a Black person, I think I sometimes present, I think type 1 Black people can often present and look like type 3s because you're not used to, like, I feel like there's kind of a stereotype that, like we just kind of do whatever. Like we're 7s, we want to have fun. We don't really take things like seriously. So when you're fun and you're Black, people like are kind of put off by that. Like, oh, why are you so serious? I feel like I'm a very serious person. So I think that realizing that, like, no, it's my oneness that's making me so like rigid and, Black and white thinking. I think that's the way I've seen it show up in my Blackness. But I think it's very different from the typical, like stereotypical rather, people experience Black women. I'm not sure if that answered the question, but I think that's the first thing that came to my mind right now. It's just
definitely. So
the rigidity and the seriousness. Yeah, I'm tracking for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, an awareness of how other people, like perceive you and us as Black women.
Right, because typically, like in TV shows and movies, like we play the funny side character. We don't really play the serious, studious. It's very like one-off. Like it's very rare that you see that. I think the only time I've really seen, it's become more common, but like in the Cosby Show, the wife is very studious, but she also has her funny moments, right? And then in what is the show called? A Different World, Whitley is very like, she's very serious. She's a very like rigid, like very perfectionist woman. So you don't really see that a lot. I think that women who are like that are often called bougie and stuck up. And I get that. I don't know, no one's ever said it to my face, but I feel like that's how people perceive me. It's very bougie and stuck up and very like, you think better than us kind of energy. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, so those are two of my favorite shows.
Wow.
Pretty sure Claire's I'm pretty sure Claire's a 1, right?
I think she's a 1. I think she's a 1.
But both of those characters, like I immediately thought of different like episodes or images where they were both so funny. So funny and so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, that shared experiences, like being a 3, I think you're right. Like 1s and 3s can see each other and present pretty similarly in ways. My bestie's a 1. And yeah, I can have that experience of like being misunderstood, like people kind of seeing how, you know, focused we can be or driven we can be, or yes, like rigid at times we can be, and take that to mean like we're not warm or kind or human, and none of those things are true at all.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. That's very, very true.
I love that. I love this conversation. Yeah, I just love listening to it and co-sign. Now I'm thinking of my favorite Claire moment in the Cosby Show. Well, one of them is when Denise, or is it Vanessa? Denise goes to see the ratchet.
Vanessa. Yeah. It was Vanessa.
Vanessa goes to see the ratchet, and Claire with the big fun. So now I sometimes say that to myself. I'll be like, "Oh, you thought you could have big fun." And she's mad. Almost. And remember, Cliff had to like hold her back. Was like, she was that baby. Like, she was
no, it was about to be. It was the whole world was about to see part of like what can happen in Black families, with Black moms, when you are disrespectful and you put yourself in a position where you go hurt yourself. Like how that can look for real for us.
Woo. Yeah, I remember that scene too.
It's a great one.
You have a favorite scene too, Kim?
Ooh, what's the favorite?
Are these Claire
I definitely thought of Big Fun and the Wretched. That was like one of the first things I thought of.
And remember Vanessa looked so pitiful. She's like, I just wish
I liked when Theo was trying to be an adult, and so they turned the whole house into like the real world. And she was like Minnie. She was like the furniture. She was like, welcome. I don't remember what her name was, but it was like, this is Minnie's furniture store. Yeah. she was just so into it. And then she also like ran the restaurant. So just her playfulness and just willing to I love that character. I love that character. I do.
I think what's a favorite Claire scene?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember this, when Elvin was shocked that Claire was getting coffee for Cliff. And she read him. She read him like a book. And I was like, absolutely, sis.
You went on.
She ended with, would you like a coffee? Like, she was still like kind of confused. I'm so nervy, but don't you ever in your life speak to me like that ever again. I love that. I feel like that's who I am. Like, that's why, well, that's not who that's who I want to be. I want to be able to read somebody, but then do it with grace and compassion. Because all I can do is to read.
Poor Elvin, though, right? Like,
it was terrible.
He never got it right.
I'm surprised she married him. Like, that was very shocking to me that she would marry him. Yeah. I don't know where because I feel like the dad and Elvin are so different that it wasn't clicking for me. But yeah.
I mean, but then also what a like annoying character to have to play. Like, you just are constantly putting your foot in your mouth. Like, you're just constantly like the one that everyone looks at like, what? Like,
he played it well.
He played it well. Yeah.
Well. I remember
that was a good detour. And then obviously like the classic, like Claire, when she dances and like, you know, those really special moments. Like,
that's Aunt Viv.
Yep, that's Aunt Viv.
Well, that was cute too. I love that scene. That was That was really cute. She had the whole leotard and everything. Like, she looked amazing for her age. Like, my goodness.
And
She
she
killed
danced.
She
And she
absolutely
danced.
I can still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still remember the routine. She killed it. She killed it. They told her they tried to make her feel like she couldn't do it. And she was like, oh, just you wait.
Yeah.
What type do we think that Aunt Viv was?
It's probably either.
I thought she was a 9, but I might be wrong.
Really?
I thought that was kind of hard because her character changed in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
So it was hard to like, because she didn't continue being the same kind of person. I feel like I think the light skinned woman was more 9, but she dark skin had also 9 in her, but she also like would catch on that 8 sometimes. So it was kind of hard to tell what she was. But I wonder what you guys think she is.
I was leaning towards like 1.
Okay. Wow. That's like she's right in the middle of that. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 1 or 8, like strong, like yeah.
I love that.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Determined.
Right.
And warm.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah.
Especially the first song that we're talking about.
Right.
I think she's everybody's favorite. We need to get back to see. Okay. So
you do what you do well, right? We jump right into pop culture and the Enneagram.
Right.
Hi, Camille here. I hope you all have been enjoying season 3 as much as Kim and I enjoyed recording it. New this season that I wanted to share is that I will now be offering one-on-one Enneagram consultations. What that means is that if you have any specific and unique questions or curiosities related to the Enneagram, how it shows up for you, how you use it at work, in relationships, how you can use it for growth, or if you need some focused help on even learning your type, then we can meet for 90 minutes to answer those questions. I love doing these as I get to deep dive into your questions and provide you with custom and tailored answers that we get to discuss together. If you're interested, you can reach out to me via social media or in the show notes. You can find my email. I'm excited to get to meet some of you in this personal format and get to be a part of your Enneagram journey. Now, back to the show.
Tell us a hope you have for Black people around growth work that they're doing, be it the Enneagram or any type of personal development. And we want to know your hope for Black people surrounding this work, both like individually and as a collective for us.
I think my hope is healing. I think as I'm like going back to the whole dating thing, as I'm seeing people like have these gender wars, you can just tell that we are in a very unhealed space in general. Like we're not okay. Because I think when we start to break down relationships, we start to break down community. I think that if we all lean into the healing, and that looks like Enneagram work, it's like therapy, it's like really getting to know yourself and finding yourself within yourself and not like trying to let other people tell you who you are. I think that's where a lot of our healing will come from. But I think that's my hope, is just that we would like put our armor down and like our swords and our picket fences, like all of that, like put it all down and just kind of like allow ourselves to be in community and be in relationship with one another without having to be right, which is very difficult for me as a one, like understanding that like that's part of the human experience, is to have multiple points of views that are valid and right and true. I think we're in a space right now as a Black community where we want to be the right ones and everyone else is wrong. And that makes us feel comfortable and safe. But it's actually, I think, really hindering our growth as a Black community, wanting to be right and wanting to be, seen as, well, we're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. Like, you need to be like us. I don't think that's really working.
Right.
Yeah. Just a very divisive energy right now in the community. So yeah.
Yeah. What does that, and you don't have to answer this, but what does that look like for you personally? Like, how do you try and practice that on a personal level? Because I think that is hard to do.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think it's understanding people who don't think the way that I think, intentionally reading books about people, about men, like one being like, I'm going to intentionally learn about the psyche of how you guys think. So I'm not, because you can't really understand someone who you are not like actively trying to understand.
Yeah.
And so I think putting myself in positions where I'm like around them more often, and then not engaging in or watching things that will fuel that divisiveness in me. Because I'm very easily influenced by like media. So if I see something and it's like, men are ish, I'm on the bandwagon, I want to join. Like that's my natural default. And so it's like intentionally unfollowing those people, not listening to certain podcasts, and only listening to things that uplift the Black community, uplift Black men, uplift Black women. Like if it doesn't do with that, I'm not following it. I'm not listening to it. Friends cannot come to me talking about men. Like we're not doing that. Like very much trying to like come back to that core of like, no, like we are a community, we are one people. And that's where my healing is coming from. It's just no longer playing within that, the wars that are happening. So yeah.
What a great practical, I love that. Like such a great practical way to practice exactly what your hope is. And like, and that's so common. And, you talked about dating and like, even the way we talk about dating, right? Like it's so easy to be like, dating sucks. There's no one out there. There's no like, and being able to like watch the spaces that we talk about, how often we talk about it, what we're following and listening to about dating. And I love like learning about men and, which is so interesting. I remember doing that a couple of years ago and I really like, I thought it was very interesting, the things that I learned and like learning about their beliefs and thoughts and like pressures. And, I also thought about, I know, sometimes she's a little bit limited, but Brene Brown has a quote that says like, you can't hate something if you don't move up close or something like that. Like, and so this idea of like, when you move up close, you learn more about it. And then you can't hate it because you've gotten close to it. And so this idea of, like you saying, like I've been getting up close to men and learning about them so that I can not hate it and be like, oh my God, they're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the book that's done that, like brought the most clarity and healing understanding for me is Bell Hooks' book, The Will to Change. So it's really good. It's very difficult to read because it's like you really have to reprogram, and even like you even have to like face the parts of you as a woman that are like continuing the cycle of toxic masculinity. Like that's the hardest part for me was when I was reading that book. It's just like, dang, like there are ways that I have, even my little brother, that I have like kind of stopped him from like expressing emotion because I'm just uncomfortable by it. And I'm like, oh, why? Like, I feel like we don't realize, but like women can sometimes be the biggest perpetuators of toxic masculinity. So
definitely. Yeah. Love Bell Hooks.
Yeah.
I have not read that one. I just finished Salvation, I believe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Black People in Love.
Yes.
Camille, you said practical. I'm gonna just gloat about just you being a one and how all of that is just showing up in what you're saying. So that's one element of it, right? Like, I think we can look to ones in a very beautiful way to help us to like figure out how to do things practically.
Right.
And then two, not just ones, but all of us, sometimes just the control, like the urge to want to control things. And so the work there being to be able to like, realize what you really can control and can't. And that so often means like paying attention to like how we're showing up and how we can shift maybe, narratives, messaging, behaviors, like how we're, and so that was so loud as I was listening to you. And there's just so much wisdom in it. So thank you for sharing that.
We like to ask all of our guests this because we want to normalize, like we're therapists, we love therapy, but normalizing in the Black community therapy. And so we wanted to hear from each of our guests what your relationship has been with therapy in your life.
I started therapy last year, January. So I've been doing it. Yeah. I've been doing it for a minute now. And then I think after like a 6 months into it, she had to go on maternity leave. So now she's back. And so I'm having the best time being in therapy. And I mean the best time in the sense of like, it's helping me. It's helping me see a different perspective. Because I think sometimes when I'm in my head, I can only see what I know and what is true for me. And I think one thing that I've learned from her that I will take for the rest of my life is like giving people like the best interpretation of their behavior. That's really difficult for me. I am the assume the worst type of person. I am very much, they did this because they don't like me because this, like I go to the worst thing that they could possibly think. And I think one thing she often does with me anytime I'm talking to her about a situation that's happening is giving them the best interpretation. Like, oh, I never thought they would ever think like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's been the most helpful thing is just realizing that like, not everyone is out to get you. Not everyone wants to see your downfall. Not everyone is coming for you. Like, you're okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the biggest thing. I think I started it because I was in my first year of law school and I had just been going through like a lot. Like I'm a social subtype, like a really strong social subtype, and I didn't have community. I was living in California in Berkeley, And I didn't have any friends. Like, and I ended up becoming friends with someone who I should not have become friends with. And it was just like really bad for my mental health. And I just realized that I really needed to talk to someone outside of my, immediate like friendships and family. And that really helped me like exponentially with getting out of that friendship. Like, I don't think I could have done that by myself for sure. Like, cause I just really needed community. And I was like, well, this is all that God wants to give me. So I guess I have to deal with this. But she showed me that there's a third way. It's not just black and white. There's a gray, everything. And that's hard for me as a one to see gray. So yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Very much so. Very much so. I find that like the being able to be assume positive intent, being able to like lean into that, it's gonna get a whole lot easier for you, friend, as you're able to do that for yourself. Like the not being able to do that oftentimes is a reflection because we tend to think worse about ourselves at times. And so the more you we lean into really seeing ourselves and that we're doing the absolute best we can, that's easily accessible for us to extend to other people as well.
Thought about that. I mean, I feel like subconsciously I was like, oh yeah, like I probably am doing that because I'm doing it to myself. But I think hearing it said to me, like, oh, like you're probably doing this to yourself first. And that's why you're doing it to other people. Like, duh. Like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Huh.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm gonna have to be cautious of that now. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And you shared a gem with us. That was going to be another question was, a gem that's really resonated with you since you have, been doing your growth work. And you shared that. So being able to do that, to lean into compassion and being graceful with people. And
I think something you mentioned was also another thing that she taught me was, oh wow, just left my brain. Oh my gosh, no.
It'll come back.
It will come back. It was so good. Okay.
Used to that feeling. Yeah. Aren't you, Camille? Does that happen to you in session?
Yes. Yes. And yeah, it'll happen. And then but I know enough to be patient. It'll come back. And so I just kind of sit for a second, or there was probably 2 thoughts that were happening or 3 thoughts that were happening. So I just go with the other ones. And I'm like, I know there's a third one that's going to come back. And then it eventually comes back.
Yeah. Worst case, you just send a message after the talk. Like, I remember.
But I saw a meme that was like, don't you wish our brains had Google? That you could type into your brain to be like, what was the name of that restaurant that someone told me about 2 days ago? What was that thought that it had something to do with compassion, right? And you could search your brain. I so wish that I had that. And I think it would help us all.
It's your phone. Yes, it's called your phone. Get you a good productive app. And then you learn how to stop relying so much on just keeping everything up here and actually have a space where you put stuff, just dump it. And then you can use that to.
No, that's not going to work, Kim, because it works for some things. You're right. But the amount of things that float in my head, it literally is what was the name of that restaurant that this person at the grocery store told me? Yes.
So then when you're at the grocery store and the person tells you the name of the restaurant, you open your phone and use your handy dandy app and you go to the restaurant section and you type in the name of the restaurant and then it's not in your head anymore.
Sometimes I can do that, but sometimes it's in passing, it's just or on social media, you see so much stuff, and I hate this in session. I'll be in session and I'll be like, oh, it's this quote I saw, or it's this interview I saw. And then I'm like, wait, let me find it. And then but I'm like, I don't know when I saw this. Was it yesterday? Was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know. But then my mind gets stuck and I'm like, I have to find it. And so I will be just give me a minute, and I have to set a timer. And I'm like, if I can't find it in a minute, I'll do this after session and I'll find it for you later. But because I just am this was the perfect language for exactly what you're talking about. It's hard.
I use an app for that, and I'm not going to say it because I want them to pay me. But we can talk about it later, and I can try to help you. But that's my answer.
Of course, there's a productive, streamlined way to do this. Mine just floated around. I'll find it. I will find it. But it's, yeah. Love that.
This has been great.
Did it come back to you, Dayo?
It was about,
Yes.
it was about change. That's the word that came back. It was about change. Oh, not changing other people. I think that's been a big thing. Like, you can only really control yourself. That's what you were talking about. How you can only control yourself, and you can't make people be who you want them to be. Just like accepting them for who they are, and not trying to change them to become who they aren't. I think that was something that when I was in a relationship for like a very brief moment, that was something I was practicing. Was like, okay, just accept the situation. Sometimes you shouldn't do that. I think it's something I realized, like, there's lines to that.
Absolutely.
But in that situation, I should not have done that. But I think in most situations, like, I think it applies that you should just accept people for who they are and then choose to leave or go. So
yeah. You reformers, I mean, think that could make things better, which you can. Right. And so that knowing, like you said, balance and boundaries and what's acceptable, what's really not. Same struggle with 3, same struggle with 7s, right? Because we can be hopeful, we can see the best, we can want to do the best, provide the best. And so, we got to find that balance.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been so good. Thank you. What, where can people find you and your work? We kind of have talked about it, but what do you want to share with the folks about how they can connect with you?
Yeah, so I actually have a website. It's kind of dormant right now, but it's called theblackEnneagram.com. There's a couple things on there, not a lot, but it's a great way to like just get in touch with me. And obviously I have the Instagram page, The Black Enneagram, spelled The Black, THE Black, and then ENNEAGRAM. Okay, I hope I did that.
We're gonna link it anyway.
We'll link it. Yeah.
Yes, the website and the Instagram page. I'm going to be speaking. This isn't for anyone, to like look up, but I'm going to be speaking this summer. I think this month, actually it's July. This month at the International Enneagram Conference.
Yes.
If anyone wants to watch, I'll be sharing the it's like a beginner's track, discovery track. So I'll be talking about 1s, 8s, and 9s, the body types, just giving kind of an intro, using, my little Black, culture flair and showing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I definitely hope that people are engaged with it. Because it's gonna be in person. It's gonna be in San Francisco, so I'll get to be there. So I'm really excited for my first in-person talk. So,
we love that. That's amazing. And people, now people are going to be interested to find this post on the dating. So we can't wait.
Yes. I'm excited about that. I'm definitely working on that while we drive to the wedding today.
Oh, you can work on it today.
Yes.
We will be praying for you and rooting for you at the conference. We know it's huge, and we know you'll be amongst friends because some of the homies don't be there.
Yes. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. So have fun. But yes, we'll make sure we include those links in the show notes so that people can follow and connect and support.
Great.
Thank you for like allotting your time, and again, thank you for the space you've carved out and the joy that you bring so many people when I found you, when other people found you.
Yes.
And we just love your work. And I think I still like follow some of your playlists that you made about the Enneagram numbers and types. And so I think you put me on a song that was on one of the 7. I think it was Yellow. I think that might have been. I don't think it might have been called Yellow, or something, or maybe it just looks yellow. Might have been that. Maybe the album cover is yellow.
How our brains work. Association.
Oh, Lord. And so thank you for what your voice.
Yeah. I mean, even our podcast, like when we first started, like your voice and you doing it was one of the inspirations. We were like, well, yeah, we could do it. Yeah. So totally, most definitely grateful to you. And like I said, rooting for you. And we're so glad you were here with us and hung out with us.
Oh, this was so much fun. I'm so glad you guys are doing this. There's not a lot of people doing the podcasting with Black Enneagram work and talking about any Enneagram from like a Black perspective. So I really appreciate you both taking the time, being so diligent and consistent with it. Like, that's amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, we'll stay connected. And I guess that's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
All
Thank
right,
you.
y'all. We'll see y'all in the next episode.
See you on the next episode.
Bye.